Hello friends, welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Maureen and today we're talking about hibernation. But first, let's sing our hello song. When we sing hello, we are going to salute, and when we sing friends, we'll take our two fingers and have them give each other a hug. Hello friends, hello friends, hello friends, it's time to say hello. Good job! When wintertime comes and the weather outside gets cold, animals must adapt or make changes to the way they live. Even humans adapt to the colder weather that comes with winter. For example, do we dress differently in the wintertime? Yeah, right? We wear a lot of layers when we're dressing for the cold weather, and we wear thicker clothing to keep us cozy, to keep the cold away from us, right? Well, animals do something similar to this. Lots of animals grow thicker, denser fur when it's starting to get cold outside, so they can stay nice and cozy throughout all the wintry nights. Another way that humans adapt to the wintry weather is just spending less time outside, right? There's definitely so many fun things to do when it's snowy outside and even when it's just cold outside. But sometimes maybe it's too cold to go out that day, or you can't really stay out as long as you'd like to. So we might find ourselves spending more time inside, cozy in our nice sweaters, wrapped up in a warm blanket, maybe drinking hot cocoa, curled up by the fire, reading a book, or taking long, nice naps. Well, animals kind of do this too. When winter comes, the ground freezes and gets really hard, and not many plants can grow. So it's hard for some animals to find things to eat. So instead, they go around and they gather up lots of food during the fall. Sometimes they will put it in their den or their burrow and save it, or sometimes they'll save it in their bodies. They'll eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and add on lots of layers of fat so that during the winter when there's no food to be found, they can use all of that fat for energy. They also find ways to conserve their energy. So instead of running around and having snowball fights, as fun as that is, they are sleeping or having a deep rest. This is called hibernation. Can you clap with me on every syllable? Hibernation. Hibernation. Good job. Hibernation looks different in different animals. Some animals will go into a very deep sleep where they slow their breathing and their heart rate, their body temperatures down so low that they don't wake up until all the way in the spring. Do you know that some bats that hibernate only breathe one time every 2 minutes? But for other animals, they'll only sleep for a couple of weeks or a couple of days at a time. They wake back up, have a little snack, go to the bathroom, go back to sleep. So it's different for every animal, but it's always very cool. One other way that humans adapt to the colder weather in the winter is by sometimes just moving to a warmer area. Do you know anyone who maybe flies down to Florida in the winter and lives there for a couple of months? Well, some animals do that too. It's called migration. Can you clap on every syllable of migration? Migration. Migration. Good job. There are lots of different reasons why animals will migrate. Sometimes they migrate to find better food or to follow food, or they might migrate to go to a specific place to make their nests for their families, or sometimes they migrate to stay warm when the cold months come. So you see, there are lots of different ways that animals can adapt to the colder weather, and lots of ways that aren't that different from the way that humans adapt to the colder weather. Let's learn a couple of words using American Sign Language to help us talk about these different ways of adapting. Let's learn how to sign the word sleep. What letter does sleep start with? Sleep. Yeah, sleep starts with the letter S. S is for sleep. S. To sign the word sleep, take your flat palm and hold it in front of your face. And then we're going to drag your fingers down to meet them at your thumb. Sleep. Sleep. Good job. Let's learn another word. Let's learn travel. What letter does travel start with? It makes a t sound. Yes, travel starts with the letter T. T is for travel. T. To sign the word travel, make your letter V and bend your fingers a little bit. It kind of looks like maybe a couple of little feet. And we're going to move these little feet forward and to the side. Travel. Travel. Good job. So now when you talk about different animals and what they do to adapt in the winter, you can talk about whether they adapt by sleeping, by hibernating, or by traveling, by migrating. Before we go into our first book, let's sing our alphabet together. You can pat along at home, you can sing along with me, or you can sign along with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job, friends. Our first book today is called Baby Bears Not Hibernating by Lynn Plourde. And it's about a little bear who's experiencing his very first winter. And he knows he's supposed to hibernate, but he does not want to. So this book is actually fun because as Baby Bear is trying so hard not to hibernate, he meets a lot of animals that don't hibernate and don't migrate. They actually adapt to the winter in different ways. And this book is also fun for us because it shows a lot of different animals that actually live up here in Maine. Baby Bear's Not Hibernating. Baby Bear's not hibernating. I'm staying awake the whole winter, said Baby Black Bear. Sure, son, Papa Bear winked. Of course you are, Mama Bear grinned. I mean it, Baby Bear growled, the best growl a Baby Black Bear can growl. Grrr. Owl, do you hibernate in winter? Asked Baby Bear. Certainly not, said Owl. But how do you stay awake all winter long? I perch in trees and hoot, hoot, hoot the time away. Really? Said Baby Bear. I can climb trees. I'm still working on my growling, but hooting can't be that hard. See you around. I'm not hibernating. Moose, Do you hibernate in winter? Asked Baby Bear.
Nope, not me, said Moose.
But you're so big. What do you eat all winter?
Well, I eat everything I can before winter to fatten up. Then when winter comes, I just eat one twig at a time.
Really? Said Baby Bear. I have to fatten up before I hibernate, so that's not different. And one twig at a time sounds easy enough. See you around. I'm not hibernating. Hare, do you hibernate in winter? Asked Baby Bear. Not me, said Hare. But how do you stay warm in the cold and snow? I grow a thick white fur coat. Really? Said Baby Bear. Maybe my fur will grow thick and white if I stay outside all winter. See you around. I'm not hibernating. Baby Bear spent the last few days of fall frolicking until the day it started to snow.
Winter's early this year, said Papa Bear.
Time for bed. Let's snuggle till spring, said Mama Bear. Not me, said Baby Bear. He gave his parents an extra big bear hug and headed outside.
He'll be back, Papa Bear winked at his wife. I tried the same thing when I was a cub. You get some rest. I'll keep an eye on him.
The snow fell harder. Winter is fun, said Baby Bear. But when night arrived, Baby Bear yawned a big yawn. Too tired. Mind if I join you, Owl? Asked Baby Bear. Suit yourself. Just use a different branch. Owl went, hoo, hoo, hoo. Baby Bear went, hoo, hoo, crash. Who came to cover him up? The next day, Baby Bear's biggest growl came from his belly. Too hungry. Mind if I join you, Moose? Asked Baby Bear.
Whatever.
Baby Bear munched alongside Moose, one twig at a time. Ugh, said Baby Bear. Twigs are too hard.
What'd you expect from frozen sticks? Said Moose.
What did Baby Bear find to munch on? The next day, Baby Bear shivered and quivered as the temperature dropped. Too cold. Mind if I join you, Hare? Asked Baby Bear. Sorry, my burrow's not big enough for a bear. Brrr, said Baby Bear. How long will it take my fur to get thick and white like yours? I'm not sure, said Hare, but maybe hopping will keep you warm until it does. So Baby Bear hopped, hopped, hopped until he dropped. The snow never stopped.
Have you seen Baby Bear? Asked Owl. Have you seen Baby Bear? Asked Moose.
He hopped that away, said Hare.
Where?
There. Owl flapped some snow away. Moose plowed some snow away. And Hare kicked some snow away. And there was Baby Bear. But he wasn't alone.
Shh! Don't tell him I was here, whispered Papa Bear as he tiptoed toward home.
Owl, Moose, and Hare shook Baby Bear awake. Is it spring yet? Asked Baby Bear. Not quite, his friends giggled. Wow, said Baby Bear. I stayed awake almost the whole winter. Almost, his friends winked. I better get home before my parents wake up and get worried about me. Good idea, said his friends as they followed Baby Bear back to his den. See you around. In spring, said Owl. I'll save you some twigs, said Moose. Remember, I'll be brown then, said Hare. I'll dream about you, friends, said Baby Bear. Just right,
said Baby Bear. In the back here, there's some facts about black bears. The end.
Oh, look at this. We have some bears that came to visit us in the library. Can you help me figure out what color each bear is? Let's name the colors of these bears. We have yellow bear and blue bear, and this one is a little hard to see because they blend into the background because they are a red bear and green bear, and finally pink bear. Now, can we count how many bears we have? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bears. I have a little rhyme about these 5 bears. They are also trying not to hibernate, just like the baby bear from our book. And I have some movements that you can do at home with me while I'm saying the rhyme. So we are going to say that these baby bears roll, and you can make your rolly hands, but then these baby bears are going to have to stop. I need you to make stop with your hands. Okay? Let's give it a try. How many bears do we have again? 5. 5 bears moving really slow. 1 yawns and stumbles and starts to roll. Show me your rolling hands. He rolls to a stop. Good job. And starts to snore. How many bears are left to explore? Let's count how many bears we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little bears moving real slow. 1 yawns and stumbles and starts to roll. He rolls to a stop and starts to snore. How many bears left to explore? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. 3 little bears moving so slow. 1 yawns and stumbles and starts to roll. He rolls to a stop and starts to snore. How many bears left to explore? 1, 2. 2 bears. 2 bears moving so slow. 1 yawns and stumbles and starts to roll. He rolls to a stop and starts to snore. How many bears left to explore? 1. 1 bear. 1 bear moving so slow. He yawns, stumbles, and starts to roll. He rolls to a stop and starts to snore. How many bears left to explore? None. 0. No more bears. They're all tucked sweetly into their caves, getting ready to hibernate. Good night, bears. But I think there was one more bear in the library. Yes, I'm certain that there was. Do you think we can find out where he went? Where is Bear? Where is Bear? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, Bear? Very tired, thank you. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Aww. Do you think we should sing that one more time? I think so, now that you guys know the words. But we're gonna have to wake up Bear. Can you try shouting, "Wake up, Bear"? Let's wake up that sleepy bear. Ready? Wake up, Bear! Go and hide. Where is Bear? Where is Bear? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, Bear? Very tired, thank you. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. I think we should let Bear sleep this time. What do you think? Me too. Good night, Bear. Sweet dreams. Our next book is called Winter Sleep, a Hibernation Story by Sean Taylor and Alex Morss. And this is a fun story because in the winter, when the world is covered in snow and everything looks kind of empty, maybe you think that all the animals are gone, there's nothing around. But this story shows us that even if everything looks kind of dead and gone, there's still a whole world there in the winter, just waiting, resting to come back alive in the spring. Winter Sleep, a Hibernation Story. Winter Sleep, a Hibernation Story. When it was summer, I stayed at Granny Sylvie's house. She knows lots of things, like the names of flowers and how to spot a deer's hoof print, and where to splash around in the pond, climb a slope of green ferns, pass through oak trees with moss on one side, and find the secret glade. Butterflies fluttered even though it was late. Granny Sylvie helped me listen for songs of different birds. It was still warm. We stayed right into the summer magic of the night. And we kept so still, we saw the dormouse, who lives there, run up a hazel tree. When I went back to stay with Granny, it was winter. I asked her, "Can we go to the secret glade?" She said, "Yes, if you can find it." Everything was different. The pond was frozen hard. The ferns on the slope looked dead. The oak trees with moss on one side were all bony. And the glade was quiet and bare. It wasn't anything the same. No butterflies, no flowers, no birds. I wanted to see the dormouse, but Granny said, "The dormouse will be having a winter sleep."
It was too cold to stay, and I said, "Nothing's alive in winter." Granny Sylvie told me, "It is. We can't see the dormouse, but she's hiding here. She'll be safely, deeply sleeping all winter long. This is her hibernation time." In autumn, she feasted on forest nuts, fruits, and insects. Then the long nights came. She felt cold, heavy, and sleepy. There was nothing more to eat, so she made a nest ball, and she's inside, secretly snoring until the spring sun warms her body again. On the way back, I asked, "Are there other animals hiding in the trees?" Granny said, "Yes, lots of bats hibernate in trees. On warm nights, they fly across the forest, chasing insects and pulling spiders from webs. But even their food rests in winter, so bats snuggle up in a hollow trunk or cave and snooze through the frosty weather." I said, "Where do all the insects go?" Granny told me, "Some are sleeping right under your feet. The ground is frozen hard, but down below there are stag beetles waiting to come out. The queen bumblebee sleeps in a tiny tunnel. Some moths and butterflies hide underground, often wrapped up, waiting for spring. Mother earwigs look after their eggs until they hatch when spring comes." We were coming to the pond, so I asked, "What about in the water?" Granny said, "There's ice on top, but pond life waits below. Before it froze, frogs dived down deep into slimy mud. Now they are still and breathing so slowly they seem dead. But when the water warms in the spring, we'll hear them croaking again." I said, "So all sorts of animals are having a winter sleep." "That's right," Granny Sylvie told me. "Some even make a special home for winter. A bear builds a den deep in the woods, perhaps in a cave, an old tree trunk, or hidden hollow. Mommy bear slows right down and rests there with her cubs, curled up tight on a bed she's made from soft moss, twigs, and leaves." Granny Sylvie was still telling me about the animals in winter when I was in bed. "You see," she told me, "there's plenty of life tucked up, hiding in the cold." I nodded. I could feel the cozy magic of the dark night outside. And even though it wasn't very late, I closed my eyes for a winter sleep. In the back of the book, they explain a little bit about hibernation and examples of some animals that hibernate and how they hibernate. If you're interested, we have this book in the library. You can come check it out and read about all the different animals and the different ways they hibernate. The end.
I have a quick little activity for us. Just a quick little matching game. We're going to match different animals to the habitat that they hibernate in. So I have 3 different habitats up here. We have some logs. This might also be a pile of debris on the forest floor, or maybe a stone wall where they can crawl into the little cracks there. And I have a little splat of mud. Some nice little mud. And finally I have a cave. So let's see if we can match the animals to their different hibernation habitats. And some of these might fit into 2 categories because, for example, our first animal is a frog. There are lots of different frogs, and depending on what type of frog it is and what habitat it lives in, usually it might have a different hibernation habitat. So whatever you say at home, whatever you think at home is a great guess, and don't be discouraged if I put the animal in a different section than you would put it in. So where do we think a frog would hibernate? Do you think a frog might hibernate in a cave? I don't think so. Not a cave like this anyway. Maybe like a tiny little cave, maybe like a crack in the logs. I think there are some forest frogs that hibernate under piles of leaves and twigs, so you might put your frog there. But I think most frogs, they bury themselves deep under the mud and they hibernate down there. They make themselves very slow, very still. And some frogs can even freeze solid and still survive the winter if they're all slowed down and in hibernation mode. It's pretty cool. Oh, it's our next animal. It's a brown bear. So different bears also hibernate in different ways. Some of them don't even really hibernate. Like black bears, which were the bears from our first story, they don't technically hibernate. They go into what's called a torpor. So they still sleep for a long time and they still slow their bodies down, but they can wake up much more easily and they don't usually sleep throughout the entire winter. But brown bears, I believe they do hibernate throughout the entire winter. So where do we think the bears would hibernate? Do you think they crawl into a mud pile with the frogs? I don't think so. What about the logs and the debris in the forest? Maybe. They might do that. I mean, it's definitely better than nothing, right? Polar bears, they dig their dens out of snow. So it's not too far from digging a den out of debris. But I think a lot of bears really try to find, if they don't dig a den, they might get lucky if they find a cave, right? Yeah, I think we think of caves anyway when we think of bears hibernating. I'm going to put my bear in the cave here for hibernation. What's the next one we have? A snake. A slithery little snake. Where do we think that snakes hibernate? Think they go into a cave? I think they might, depending on what their natural habitat is. I do know that snakes like to hibernate in groups if they can, so they can all keep themselves warm. So a cave would have a lot of space for lots of snakes. I think a lot of snakes might try to curl up maybe in tiny cracks, like stacks of logs or an old stone wall, or maybe just in a pile, like at the bottom of a knot under a tree. That's what I think of when I think of snakes. Again, there are so many types of snakes, so they all hibernate a little differently. So I'm going to put my snake with the log pile. So we have bats. Where do we think that bats hibernate? Bats are like snakes. They like to be in groups when they hibernate because they're so tiny, and having lots of them around helps them stay warm. Although bats, sometimes it will get so cold that their skin will freeze. It will have frozen droplets on it. But they're okay, you know? That's what hibernation is for. And when they come out of hibernation, it's just important that animals, they don't do it too fast. So otherwise it might hurt them. So they come out slowly. So slowly thawing, slowly moving, a little bit here and there, stretching those wings, getting ready for spring. Where do we think that bats are hibernating? I think we think about them generally probably hibernating in caves. So I'm going to put my bat in the cave with the bear. There's definitely plenty of room for a couple bears and a whole bunch of bats on the top. They can share it. And I have one more animal. What's this? It's our turtle. And again, there are so many different types of turtles, and they all hibernate a little bit differently. But I think most of the time, whether it's underwater and then under mud, or just under mud, that turtles join their friends frog here in the mud puddle. Wow, guys, good job. You put everyone safely into hibernation. We have snake up here in the woodpile and the brush. We have turtle and frog burrowed deep down in the mud, nice and safe until spring comes and thaws them out. And we have bear and bat and their families all snug up in this cave, keeping each other warm with their body heats. So I have a little chant rhyme for us to do about hibernation. We're going to go through a bunch of different animals that hibernate, and I need your help at home to help me out with this little song chant. When I point at you, I need you to say, "They hibernate." Okay? I'll say it with you. All right. And we'll have all the animals on the side here if you want to follow along with the animals as well. Brown bears do it. They hibernate. Ladybugs too. They hibernate. Bats and snakes. They hibernate. And a frog or two. They hibernate. Groundhogs, chipmunks, in a sleepy state. What do? They hibernate. Good job, guys. We have one more book today. This one is called Good Night, Baby Bear by Frank Asch. And this one is really sweet. It doesn't really teach us anything about hibernation, but it's just a really nice story about a baby bear's first hibernation, and he's just having trouble falling asleep. It's not like the first baby bear who doesn't want to go to sleep. He's having some hard time, so he needs his mom to help him get to sleep.
Good night, baby bear. Good night, baby bear. One chilly night, as snow began to fall, Mother Bear led Baby Bear to a cave. "This is where we'll sleep through the winter," said Mother Bear. Baby Bear wasn't used to sleeping in a cave. "Why can't we sleep under the sky like we always do?" he asked. "Winter has just begun," replied Mother Bear. "Soon it will be too cold to sleep under the sky." "Mama, I'm hungry," said Baby Bear. "I'm sorry, there's no food in the cave," replied Mother Bear. "But I always had a little snack before bedtime when we slept outside," said Baby Bear. Mother Bear thought for a moment. "Wait here, I'll be right back." Not far from the cave, Mother Bear found an old apple tree. She pulled down a branch, plucked an apple, and carried it back to her cub. "Thank you, Mama," said Baby Bear as he munched on the apple. Mother Bear soon fell asleep, but Baby Bear couldn't get comfortable. He couldn't fall asleep. He poked Mother Bear and said, "Mama, I'm thirsty." "I'm sorry," replied Mother Bear. "There's no water in the cave." "But I always had a drink before I went to sleep when we slept under the stars," said Baby Bear. "Okay," sighed Mother Bear. "Stay here and I'll see what I can do." Mother Bear followed the scent of water until it led her to a small stream. She dipped some leaves into the water and carried them back to Baby Bear. "Thank you, Mama," said Baby Bear as he licked the water from the leaves. "Maybe now I'll sleep." Baby Bear lay down next to Mother Bear and waited to fall asleep. He waited and waited and thought and thought. Then he bumped Mother Bear and said, "Mama, you know what I need? I need the moon." You need what? Gasped Mother Bear. I never have trouble falling asleep when I can look at the moon, explained Baby Bear. I can't get you the moon, cried Mother Bear. But I need it, insisted Baby Bear. Mother Bear heaved a great sigh. Wait here, she said, and lumbered out of the cave. By now the snow had stopped falling, and the moon was out. Its light fell on the snow like warm honey. Oh, moon, Mother Bear called to the sky. I'm so tired, and my baby can't fall asleep without you. What am I to do? Just then, some snow from a pine tree fell onto the hillside and began to roll. As it rolled, it gathered more snow and grew bigger and bigger. By the time it reached Mother Bear, it looked as big and round as the moon. Thank you, Moon, said Mother Bear, and she rolled the snowball into the cave. I know it's not the moon, she said, but there's just enough moonlight coming into the cave to make it shine like the moon. Can you see it? Oh, yes, cried Baby Bear. Good, said Mother Bear. Now please go to sleep. Okay, Mama, said Baby Bear. Just one more thing. What now? Grumbled Mother Bear. I want to give you a kiss, said Baby Bear, and he kissed Mother Bear on the nose. Good night, Baby Bear, murmured Mother Bear. She drew her cub into a warm embrace and kissed him back. Good night, Mama, said Baby Bear, and he closed his eyes. And this time, deep beneath the snow in his cozy, warm cave, Baby Bear fell asleep. The end.
I have one more song for us today. It's called the Hibernation song. It goes to the tune of Wheels on the Bus, and we have some action movements to do with this. So if you'd like to join me in standing, then please do so now. So this song isn't just about different animals hibernating. It's about all the things that go on in winter, what everyone, all the animals and the people do to adapt to the cold weather. So the first verse, we're going to rub our arms. We're keeping ourselves warm. And the words go, the weather's getting cold, so bundle up. Okay, let's give it a shot. The weather's getting cold, so bundle up, bundle up, bundle up. The weather's getting cold, so bundle up. Winter's coming soon. Now we're going to be the squirrels in the trees. We're going to gather nuts. The squirrels in the trees get lots of nuts, lots of nuts, lots of nuts. The squirrels in the trees get lots of nuts. Winter's coming soon. Next, let's be bears in the cave. We're going to sleep, okay? The bears in the cave sleep all the time. The bears in the cave sleep all the time, all the time, all the time. The bears in the cave sleep all the time. Winter's coming soon. Do you remember where the frogs and the toads go to hibernate? Deep in the mud. Can we sing the frogs and the toads go deep in the mud? And while we do that, can you hop like a frog for me? You can do ribbit, or you can just hop if you want. Whatever you feel more comfortable with. The frogs and the toads go deep in the mud, deep in the mud, deep in the mud. The frogs and the toads go deep in the mud. Winter's coming soon. And remember at the beginning we talked about what the ducks and the geese do? They don't hibernate, they migrate. That's right. Can we flap our wings and sing that the ducks and the geese fly down south? The ducks and the geese fly down south, fly down south, fly down south. The ducks and the geese fly down south. Winter's coming soon. All right, last one. What do the people in the town do to adapt? What do we put on our heads and our hands to help keep us warm? Our hats and gloves. Can we sing "The people in the town put on hats and gloves"? Let's go. The people in the town put on hats and gloves, hats and gloves, hats and gloves. The people in the town put on hats and gloves. Winter's coming soon. Good job, guys. Let's sing that through one more time. We'll just go from one verse to the next. The weather's getting cold, so bundle up, bundle up, bundle up. The weather's getting cold, so bundle up. Winter's coming soon. The squirrels in the trees gather all the nuts, all the nuts, all the nuts. The squirrels in the trees gather all the nuts. Winter's coming soon. The bears in the cave sleep all winter long, all winter long, all winter long. The bears in the cave sleep all winter long. Winter's coming soon. The frogs and the toads dig deep in the mud, deep in the mud, deep in the mud. The frogs and the toads dig deep in the mud. Winter's coming soon. The ducks and the geese fly down south, fly down south, fly down south. The ducks and the geese fly down south. Winter's coming soon. The people in the town wear their hats and gloves, hats and gloves, hats and gloves. The people in the town wear their hats and gloves. Winter's coming soon. Good job. Well, that's it for Storytime, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun. I hope that you did too. We will be back next week with another recorded story time. We also have a shorter Facebook Live story time every Tuesday at 1:30, as well as a Zoom story time every Wednesday at 3:30. And we're still trying our best to get that once a week in-person outdoor story time. If you'd like any more information about any of those or to sign up for our Zoom or in-person story times, please email me at one of the addresses below. Get you on the Kent Room email list and make sure that you get that information every week. You can also visit us on our website, our Facebook, and our Instagram to keep up to date with things that are changing. I have an activity for us to do after this, but first, let's sing goodbye. We are going to wave and we are going to clap. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends and wave goodbye like this. Bye, friends. Thanks for joining me.
So today we are making a little hibernation den. So for this craft you will need a full sheet of paper. I picked blue for the night sky, but you can pick any color or you can use white paper. A piece of black scrap paper and some brown or gray scrap paper. You'll also need some scissors, some glue, something to color with, and googly eyes if you have them, but you can also just color eyes on as well. So first we want to cut a half circle out of the black piece of paper. This will be our cave opening. And you can go ahead and glue that right onto your main piece of paper. Now we'll take our brown or gray piece of paper, and you want to either cut or rip this piece of paper into smaller pieces, but not too small because we do want to be able to glue them easily. Once we have our smaller pieces of brown or gray paper, we want to glue them around the outside of our cave mouth, and these will be the actual outside of the cave. Now we want to add our little creatures. So we're going to glue a pair or more of googly eyes or draw in some eyes using either white crayon or white colored pencil. And now we just want to use our coloring utensils to decorate. I think I'm going to add a moon and some stars and maybe some snow. Thank you. Have fun.